All right, you guys. So our next topic is about the tragic accident that happened in Morocco to 5-year-old Rayan, who was playing with his sister in his village and fell down into a well. They were sending food and oxygen down to him, and they tried to, just lower themselves down and get him, but sadly they felt that the walls of the well would collapse if they did that. So they tried to, go in. Is this diagonal? What's this horizontal? This is horizontal. Yeah, yeah. So they were trying to go, kind of under the well, because this was 100-foot well that he fell into. So I know he was definitely hurt. Um, but sadly, after 4 days of them, you know, trying their hardest to get to him, it ended in him dying in the well. This is a very tragic thing. Like, I can't even imagine how his parents are feeling right now. I know they are grief stricken. They have already buried him. Um, but to have your child taken from you in such a tragic way is just so sad. And I know they were holding out hope that, he would be rescued and they would be able to hug him and love on him and kiss on him. But sadly, that was not what happened. My dog. But sadly, that's not what happened. I mean, like, I just don't understand how, maybe that well, I don't know, was this well being used? Because I didn't read that when I was researching whether or not this well was still being used, whether, it had water or not. I'm just not even sure. Like, I'm starting to wonder, how did he die in there? Like, did he die from lack of oxygen? Did he die from, you know, hypothermia from being in there day
Or
after day after night? Yeah, like, I just don't know. And I just feel so bad because I would be so grief stricken, you know. But
Yeah.
go ahead, y'all.
so I do have kids. So for me, I would be they drive me crazy. They really do. But if anything happens to them, I will be the first one on my knees just crying. And like, even my dad told me, like, if something ever happens to me, like, even when I had surgery, I could tell in his face, just me having surgery, he had so much grief. And he was the first one there to donate extra blood because he wanted me to live and everything. Um, but like I said, he's my dad. Even though he's everybody would consider him a stepfather, he did not wait around to see if anybody else would donate blood or anything. And but like I said, for me to hear about a child dying because of something like this, I am hoping that if it wasn't being used, it was closed up and it was just a freak accident where he probably stepped on the board and he fell through.
Yeah.
Um, but if it was being used, um, maybe he thought or wasn't thinking that there was water in it, and he maybe he tripped and fell into it.
I I don't know, because, like,
That's
what the
why
sister said was they were running around, they were chasing each other, and then all of a sudden he had disappeared and she
Yeah.
could
he
not find
probably fell into it. He probably
him.
tripped and fell into it.
Yeah. Oof.
Like I said, probably a freak fall where
Yeah.
it was like one of those times that everything was just aligned, unfortunately, perfectly for him to fall in. Um, I really, really hope that he did drown in it. Um, like you were saying that the parents did throw food in there, try to. But if there was water in there, he probably was using all the energy he has just to keep his head afloat, and
But, like,
probably
I feel like if it was border, they probably would have said that though. But I know they were saying something about
they
sending oxygen down to him, which could be coming from it being such a small, type of
Well,
thing. you know.
I think there's probably water in there because for the well to be so deep, like 100 feet.
There has to be water.
And think about it, these like
Maybe it wasn't a lot.
Because they would have said dry well. He fell into a dry well. And he
True.
probably would not have died so quickly.
yeah, I think
Because
if it
if it
was
was,
everyone
because he would
himself,
have been having food and probably water from his parents throwing down there. Versus if it was water in there, the food probably went into the water. He
Well,
probably,
they lowered it down and he, took
yeah, but
it or
it's still,
whatever.
he still gotta try to if for the water to
I
escape.
don't think it was a lot of water in there though. That's the
But
thing.
you
Like
gotta remember, he's only 5. They're not that big.
yeah, I know, but that's why I'm saying I don't think it was a lot of. They would have said he drowned. I feel like they would have
I think
said
they
he
wouldn't.
drowned. I feel like he died from hypothermia from being in the
But they
elements.
would have said that too.
True.
But
Well,
I think
who
probably
knows?
died drowning. I think they just don't want
Want to
to.
say it?
The parents don't want that out there as the last thing everybody remembers is, hey, here's this kid, he drowned in the versus, hey, there's this kid that he passed away because he was stuck in a well.
I think he may have also just succumbed to his injuries too. Like he, to have fallen that far, you're gonna be hurt in some type of
Yeah.
way. And
Yeah.
who knows
That's
what
why I said he probably exerted himself. I didn't hear that.
Oh, I was just saying, who knows how much, however much care, like medical care is, like they had to find a way to tunnel all the way down there. Like, I mean, to me, I think the interesting thing is that like these are countries who like we most often only really ever talk about in the face of a tragedy, and that's kind of sad. Like when we talk about critical race theory, I want more critical thought for everything, and like I only learned today from reading the article about how Morocco has a king. I didn't know that. I didn't know that like a lot of things about this region. And I think that like even as much as I like the research, there's so much I don't know about a lot of these places that like especially as an American, we look at as like a town of yesteryear or something like that. And it's just a lot of this comes from like just the way that like we as larger nations have like taken from these smaller nations and like you know how it is capitalism, colonialism, imperialism. Um, I just wonder what Africa would look like if there weren't like just centuries of like remember they're the places we get our math from, our sciences from. So much wealth of knowledge comes from African nations, and then we turn around and it's like I said, like it was left behind in the past, and that's not out of nowhere. So Ryan, his death is a tragedy, and the whole world hoping that he'd be saved is nice, is beautiful, but it's also like this is the only ever time we ever talk about these countries or treat them like they exist. So, I mean, I just have like not conflicting thoughts, just like two minds about like this situation. But yeah, you have any thoughts on it, Glenn?
I just
No real thoughts other than I can only imagine. It's just a sad thought, you know. I mean, I know when I was a kid, being out there playing and stuff, you know what I'm saying. There's dangerous things, you know. I remember one time me and my brother was playing, went in the back, and it was a pit bull that was loose
Mhm.
and almost charged us. I kind of had to stand in front of my brother and put him behind me just in case it did charge us. So I can only imagine as a parent, you know, one getting the news like, oh Lord, and then having to
really
sit
that
there for
whole.
4 days, having that hope to find out your son just died. Like something I would never wish on my worst enemy.
And it was only because there was a giant rock and it took them 5 hours to dig it because they didn't want a landslide. And I think you were right. I think that well was not filled because it was
Yeah.
105 feet down, but it was really narrow. So he probably hit his head somewhere
And
down
that's
there. And then,
yeah, like
but
it's so
they
many
said they just missed
ways.
it by a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they could have moved that rock quickly to get to him,
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better. But
Yeah.
they were thinking, landslide, immediate death for
Yeah.
him.
They don't want to cause any more damage, any more death.
But
And I get it, but like just such a tragic
and I
accident.
think because he was so low, there was barely any oxygen. Because if you're below sea level, it's harder, or the more that you go in the water in the depth, the harder it is for you to breathe. Or when you're too high, there's less oxygen. So I think that's what that comes from. But just they said that over the whole village, over 500 people were out there just hoping. They had the hashtag save Rayan. It's just it's heartbreaking for me. Um, and there's a situation going on around here where I believe, I haven't checked today, but there's this, I think he's three-year-old boy who's missing. He's either 3 or 5. No, I think he's 4. He's 4 years old, missing in Virginia, and his dad got arrested on, I believe, either 7 or 9 different um child neglect, because the father apparently left his 4-year-old to watch his 3-year-old and his 2-year-old twins.
Was it so that he can go to work?
I don't think he was going to work. I think he just went to like down the street or to a store. But it still
But you
doesn't
don't
matter.
leave
You
kids
don't
that
leave a
age by
4-year-old
themselves.
to watch 3 other kids that
Like
are no. Like me, I don't even like letting my 12-year-old watch my kids for an hour or two. Like, oh, you need a cell phone? Here's a cell phone. Here's my number. Here's your dad number. Even though he can't come down here quickly, here's the person across
but
the
it's
street.
something. Yeah.
So my kids, yes, they're by themselves sometimes, but they have everybody freaking number. And I got people, like I said, across the street where if something happens to the house, they can run over there. They could call my best friend, which she lives in a neighborhood right next to mine, less than a 4-minute drive. And then if my friend don't have room for them, because my friend will get them in a heartbeat. My kids are her babies. They got their my old boss, which my kids call them Pop and Mama, or Pop and Grandma. They will come. They will fly to my house. You think they're on the broom? How quick they get here? And then, of course, my dad, he lives on the other side of the city, but he'll fly down too. He don't care about no cops. If it comes to his grave, he don't care. And then my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they live a little bit further away. They'll get here eventually. But at least, I may not be able to call them every day, be like, hey, I need you guys to watch this, watch this, watch this. But if something is going on, I know the minute my kids call, they're already packed and ready to go.
Yeah.
And I have ready to go bags that I keep just in case something does happen. We got a dip, because no matter what, and I always, I make sure if I'm leaving the house, I tell two other people, hey, I'm leaving. I have to do this. I should be back in about an hour, give or take. Anything longer than an hour, I usually try to take my kids. But they're still looking for that little boy. It's been about 2 weeks now.
But I think the dad killed him. I'm gonna be honest. I think that daddy killed him, and he
They
put him
know
somewhere. Buried him in some swamp or something over there.
that's what they're looking for. But the thing is that my thing is, how do you know a kid left early morning, and you say he has his spider? I think they say he had his Spider-Man slippers, or he has
maybe the slippers were missing.
But the thing is, that's not something you really remember. If your child is missing, you don't go, yeah, his slippers are gone. He had his slippers on. You don't know if he didn't put it back there or anything else. That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
mean,
just
who knows? But
but
I think he killed him. He
but
killed him. His
like I
story
said,
don't make
if your dog goes missing, you gotta remember you put a jacket on the dog. So they're gonna be like, okay, so you're not gonna be like, oh, his jacket is
Yeah.
gone. Somebody must have put the jacket on him. Like,
No. But yeah, I
most
don't
kids
know.
don't put no shoes on if they're trying to hurry up and get out the house. And I'm sorry,
I would. Would have.
why would you
Because
put
I
slippers
don't
when
like the
there's
way
snow?
dirt feels on my feet. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, I
don't.
do. I love it. I'm a country girl.
Okay, Miss Farm Girl. I ain't no farm girl.
4-H club, here I am.
I am
Forget me.
city all the way.
But no, but I'm saying it was snow that morning.
Mm.
So why is your kid
I
gonna
mean,
go out?
kids do stupid shit. I will say this. Kids are known to do stupid things.
Well,
But
and
the
that's,
I
way that
understand
this
it.
story is set up,
But
it
the
just
thing I'm saying is, your kids, when their feet get wet in snow, they want to come back home because their feet is starting to hurt.
true.
My son, he went outside.
lost.
His hands started turning red because it was so hot. I mean, not so hot, so cold from the snow. He screamed to come inside. He was done with the snow. He's like,
Well, you know, sad situations all around. That's how I feel. Sad situations all around. I just hope that they find him, whether, you know,
I
dead
just
or
hope it
alive.
gets closer.
They need to find him. But I'm hoping alive. You know, maybe somebody picked him up in their car because they saw him.
Walking
I
in the
don't know.
street, they think.
Yeah, but usually if you're picking, unless you just want a child randomly, like that woman who
I
was
don't know.
If I see, as a parent, if I see a child just walking down the street early morning with no parents,
Yeah, you gonna
I
take him
would
to the police station.
I would take him to the police station, to the hospital, especially since it was snowing, because
Yeah.
then he could probably
Jonah
have
Hall.
his feet could have been, frozen over or starting to. You
Yeah.
don't know. So I would pick a child up before I picked any kind of adult up.
Yeah.
A child,
Straight up. Mhm.
if they come with a gun, I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, kid. But the fact that
call the police and just watch the child. But remember how they had that story about how different people were basically being set up by like on some gang shit and like kidnapping because they have
I
a
was I would still pick up the kid. I don't care. If
I'll call the police while I'm like watching and monitoring from my car and following.
not
But
if it's snowing, will you let a kid keep walking with slippers and pajamas?
if snow is a different situation. If I go like, kid, are you hurt? And he's like, you fucked up, and and then a gang of people pop out the snow and grab me and pull me in their head.
That's why I put people on. I got my Bluetooth on when I'm driving, talking to anybody, because I just in case there's a situation, somebody try to pop my tire, try to get me. Guess what? Somebody on that phone gonna hear me screaming. He's a tall motherfucker, and
too late though.
huh?
I said, but then it's too late.
Too late.
But at least they can at
No,
least
but
track
at least
her.
somebody will have the description, because
Yeah.
I have practice that if I'm a little paranoid when it comes to driving, because I drive by myself with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the only one here in the house. So anyways, I have it where when I drive around, because Virginia, the state law here is that you cannot drive holding a cell phone or any handheld device. So I have a Bluetooth set up in my car.
Mm-hmm.
I have somebody on call. I call people. I'm like, shit, how long is this gonna take me? It's gonna take me 2 hours. Taray, hey Taray, what you doing? That way, if something does happen, I can automatically, before they even try to bust up the door, there's two guys coming at me. One's wearing a red shirt, one's wearing a black shirt. They're either light skinned, white. They wear baseball caps. Ah, boo, 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 boo. At least he
have
knows.
something. At least it's something. But you know what, Glenn, you want to give last thoughts?
I'm just not picking up no child. I'm sorry. I'll call the cops and I'm sitting from a distance. Like,
Okay.
No?
Okay, but at least you're not leaving them.
oh no, I'm
You
not
know.
gonna leave, but I'm gonna
Okay.
call, watch, observe, see what I can see so I can get the cops any details they need. But I'm probably not gonna go. Nah,
What happened if they're in the snow in pajamas in
they
early
gonna be
morning
sitting there in the snow and the pajamas like they were before I got there.
at
Yeah,
5 o'clock in the morning with
5 o'clock
slippery?
in the morning, they gonna be sitting there.
You are horrible, Glenn.
I
Child.
called somebody, man.
If we're in New York and it's the street and it's daytime, yeah, and be like, hey kid, you okay? But if I'm in Baltimore in the middle of the night, I'm
Like,
in the car.
Hey, cops, I see this boy over here. I come
man.
get him. I'm parked.
Y'all
I'll do your surveillance for
horrible.
you. Don't forget to send me my check.
Child. But all right, y'all. Let's take let's take a break.
Ooh, isn't this pretty? Okay. I guess they put rocks in there. Soft. You like, you want the candy. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yes. Oh, that they have in here. Cute little bear. Saying hello, sunshine. Oh, they said hi. We hope you enjoy your box this month. Have a great day. Yay! Your favorite lotion too. You want to open it? It's a little mesh one. You got a new cup too. Oh, what's this? Oh, I thought that was a gift card for something. Yes, paint set. Oh, it's a wind chime. Do it yourself wind chime, Angel. Some nice socks for your feet. And a cute little bear. So adorable. Okay. All right.
Okay, so my topic is the Virginia Supreme Court dismisses Chesapeake parents' lawsuit against Governor Youngkin on masks in schools. So one of his biggest things is to give parents more rights or more say so in the school system and everything. But the school system um is upset because they're like, well, you're enforcing a law into our school system, which every city has the right to control, not the state overall. So this is why some of the parents are like really upset, and that's why they filed this lawsuit. It did go all the way up to the Supreme Court, of course, and before they even did anything else, they dismissed it because of the way the parent apparently or the lawyers wrote how he's doing this or what other things he could do. So it's 13 Chesapeake public school parents filed a lawsuit in which they stated that Governor Youngkin does not have the authority. He claims to make masks optional in schools. On Monday, the Supreme Court dismissed the lawsuit, stating that the relief request does not lie against any of the respondents. Despite parents losing the lawsuit, a legal expert says the ruling is largely a procedural laws and does not say if the governor executed order is lawful or unlawful. So basically, the Supreme Court kind of threw it out. It was like, we're not getting in the middle of this crap. That's how I feel about it. Um, so, according to the ruling, parents cannot compel their local school board to adopt a mask mandate using Mandarin's action lawsuit. So they can't be like, "Hey, you guys, we need masks in schools. Period. Mandated. They have to wear it, and they can't base it off this law or not the law, but the lawsuit." Um, so for me, like when Jack first started school last week, the teacher could not ask me by law if the student's going to wear a mask or not, because it that's enforcing it onto the parents, when because of this exact order they can't ask. So the teacher was like, mask, and she wasn't breaking the law because she didn't ask if he's going to be wearing a mask or if he's not wearing a mask. I said she goes, I said, my son will be wearing a mask. I will purchase them on Amazon because he's only 3. Yes, I want all my kids wearing a mask at school, but because of this executive order, I'm not going to know for sure if my kids are keeping a mask on or not, because all they have to say is, "Oh, my parents don't care." On the bus, it's mandatory. For parents to go into the school, it's mandatory. But these kids that are catching this version of COVID a lot more, they don't have to wear it. But so I made sure my kids had the vaccination. I don't care what people say. They got their vaccination, except for my 3-year-old, because they don't have one under 3. That's why when I first heard about this a couple weeks ago, I was very pissed off, because I'm like, a lot of elementary schools have special needs kids or pre-K that are under the age of 5 that cannot get the vaccination, even if the parent does or does not want their kid to have it. It's not optional yet. So it is, to me, very, very risky to have at least the elementary schools not wearing masks. When they went middle, high school, I still prefer the kids to wear masks, but they're a lot older. They understand what's going on versus a kindergarten, somebody who's just 5. They're, oh, I don't have to wear it. Okay, I won't wear it. So that's how I feel. I think it's stupid.
I'm personally like, for me, I'm like, even though I'm like interested in getting a vaccine now, just so I can like go to places. I'm still anti-vaccine mandate, but I'm still pro-mask mandate. But I do think, like, especially with the Supreme Court turning down Biden's whole, or the White House's whole rule of like businesses with over 100 employees doing like the mandatory vaccinations or masks or stuff like that. I do think that, and I also think that the government is kind of like waiting for Omicron to be the start of it becoming endemic and the end of it being a pandemic. I think Youngkin, between the Supreme Court is already right and already like showing deference to turn over some of these mandates, and also just people being done with COVID and wanting to get back to normal. I think if enough time passes, they're just gonna get their way, because there was already so much fuss over the whole mask mandate and already so much confusion over what masks can and can't do and all that. that like that was already an issue by the time we're talking about vaccines. And so there's already, just like there's already contention about vaccines, there's so much more contention about masks. And outside of just realizing, hey, yes, I'm not stopping myself from potentially getting it, but I'm stopping myself from potentially giving it because of the way the mask works. So it's one of those things where I feel like I wish it wasn't like this, but I feel like it's becoming a losing battle, and it's now where we should think about, should we pivot to demanding remote learning options if the school won't require masks? Because I think just focusing on just the mask part itself is one of those things where like we're not going to be winning, because more and more people are just like, look, I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm tired of COVID enough to the point where I'll get vaccinated because I'm like, I already got fucking Omicron, so I have some antibodies. It's not impossible for me to get COVID again because that's how COVID works. But I at least have antibodies that are stronger than someone who just got vaccinated but hasn't gotten it. But since like our country doesn't recognize what you call it, your natural immunity after getting COVID, since they don't recognize that like some other countries do, like you still need it. But I think more and more people, they're seeing that like people are getting over it, and so that's gaining more and more power for a right wing that's already getting radicalized on the CRT shit.
But see, for me, my thing is that like my daughter's school, that for her middle school, there's over 1,619 kids in a building, and they go into the hallway and enter. So that's what I'm saying. Like for school wise, I could understand. I don't understand why they're not wearing masks when they're so close to each other, versus like business or restaurants where it's more open.
Well, you know how there's people who like because we're a dumb country, we're a country that doesn't educate either our children or our citizens. Like there are people who believe that because they feel like it's harder to breathe with the mask than just naturally, they feel like it's, you know, fucking up their breathing or possibly giving them carbon monoxide poisoning or something. We don't educate our children, we don't educate our adults. Look at the type of arguments that like dominate the news. So like it's just natural that like once something has been politicized, it's just a matter of trying to win rather than thinking what is the long-term effect. So that's why I'm like, I feel like the pivot needs to be focusing on remote learning, something they also don't want to do for like people who conscientiously don't feel safe bringing their kids to school until like they hear of like cases have dwindled down that much, or as long as there's going to be a mask optional or a erasing of a mask mandate. I think that's where the energy
See,
needs.
that's why I said that if you don't want to get vaccinated or wear a mask and you're that uppity about it, you should go homeschool your child,
Yeah.
because that you're putting everybody plus you and your child at risk. And that's why like I homeschooled Leah um for 6th grade because I was worried about Jack bringing any COVID. Annabelle was she did virtual school, but the thing was is that she's in a special needs class, so they already clean before COVID. They cleaned the crap out of that area of her classroom, so it wasn't no. They just did extra on top of it, and I knew her teachers because she had the same teachers since kindergarten, so they made sure everything that was good. So that's why I decided that was good for her, and especially since she does have disabilities and development delay. So when the school did open up for and they did like a little bit different groups into the school at first before letting everybody back. And she was one of the few people. And I'm like, yes, because she rides a special needs bus. There's not that many kids on that special need bus. I think it might have 6 the most. And they're all separate. They all had their own seat.
Well,
The classrooms, because she during any kind of break, she actually loses a lot of her memory. She has memory issues. And is in her IEP family. And because of that, that's another reason why I wanted her to go to school, because some of the stuff they wanted her to learn, she was not at that level to learn. And between me and her trying to figure it out together was not working, because I'm not a special needs teacher. I don't know how her brain really works like that in a special needs way. All I know is, girl, why can't you do 2 plus 2? Let's do like. And eventually we got frustrated with each other, and it wasn't because I wasn't understanding and she was understanding. It was just something wasn't clicking with her, and I felt like I was failing her for that part. That's why I was getting frustrated at myself.
That's,
So when they said she go to school, I'm like, go.
but
But
that's
I make
another
it for math though.
remote learning, because like, for example, my wife in their state, they what you call it, they have, all their kids have IEPs as well, and like they had to work as well, and so they're like, I didn't have time for the whole what you call it, remote learning thing. It's like they didn't, that's the failings of our system, where like, where other people were getting, again, more than just a one-time $1,200 check or $600 check or a $1,400 check. Like, they were actually doing things to actually hold their citizens down. And here we just said, all right, remote learning, just figure it out. And they weren't teaching.
They didn't even teach the teachers how to use it.
Yeah, they weren't really doing any type of aid, either financially or like on an educational wise, to help. And then also, like, why are we acting like this is a normal year? Let's focus less on
We,
homework and let's
we
focus.
did get SNAP benefits. We did get food stamps.
Yeah.
Every kid that was in the school got food stamps.
But
Depending on what grade
yeah.
or what age, depends on how much you got. And includes how many kids you had too.
Yeah. But remember when we had like the whole $600 unemployment benefits, and then they fought to turn it to $300 because they like, oh, they're living off the hog. If they're doing too well, they're not gonna go back to work when we need them to. And it's like, we needed more aid, not less. And like, our country is so like, the corporations need more workers. They need more bodies. Get it back, get it back. That like, we did the bare minimum, as always, as usual. What America's number one at, what we're truly number one at, the bare minimum, and complained about the bare minimum the entire way. And like, I hope more parents over there, they start like strategically pushing for remote learning, but also being like, hey, at the same time, y'all didn't really do shit for us. Y'all did something for us with remote learning. So like, how about we focus less on tests and homework and more on like getting true routines down with these kids, and like making sure they're truly understanding and like retaining, and also feeling like educationally nurtured, if that's even a word. Which I get what I'm saying.
Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point, to be honest, because like I feel like we're just never gonna get out of this stupid ass loop of COVID and wearing a mask. Like I miss the days when I could just put my makeup on, put my little highlighter on my nose, and walk out the door and look like adorable. And now I put the mask on, my makeup smears. And yes, I could get the setting thing, but do y'all have money to get me the setting thing before y'all go in the damn comments and say get the setting spray? Do y'all have money for that? I don't. Okay. So
Powder.
anyway, you said
Put
what?
foundation over. Powder.
Oh,
Powder.
powder found it, girl. I was like, but no, but in I just wish that people would just start using their fucking brains. Cause I'm tired of being a fucking kitty cat and a bear and anime. Okay, I love anime. I bought those masks way before COVID even hit here because I said, ooh, we might need these. And I was like, ooh, I want to be an anime character, not knowing 3 years down the motherfucking line, my ass would still be wearing this fucking mask. If we can just use our brains and wear the fucking mask, or even just get vaccinated. I'm not even telling y'all to get vaccinated, to be honest. Just wear your damn mask. If you ain't feeling good, stay your ass home. If the kid ain't feeling good, keep their ass home. Stop sending these sick ass kids to the goddamn schools. Because I'm
they're
tired
afraid that
of
they're gonna get they're gonna get arrested for leaving their kid at home.
Yeah,
let me tell you something.
Remember how
If your
America?
kid's sick at home, you know what parents used to do back in the damn 90s when their kid got sick? They took off.
It
They
is.
took off.
Yeah,
Okay. They took off. I know it's a hard thing to do, especially in this economy. I get it. But you know what? For the kids that have autoimmune disorders like me, do it for them so they don't get sick and fucking die.
See,
Okay,
my
or get
parents
sick
do not
and
take
have
the day off.
complications that are life fucking long. I'm tired of seeing these little babies in these incubators because you was too damn stupid and too damn lazy and you just wanted to go out and you knew you were sick. Stop it. And this and Youngkin can go to hell. He can go to hell with everything that he's doing. He's over here making sure that COVID just blows up in Virginia. Do you not want us to come to Virginia, sir? We won't. I promise you. I won't come to Virginia. I don't want to, unless it's for work or something. But I don't want to come there. I promise you that,
Go
sir.
to Virginia. We don't care about him.
I know y'all don't, but it just frustrates me to the core that people are really this freaking dense when it comes to illnesses, and they ain't did a lick. They got a damn B in biology, but they up here telling people on YouTube that
they got an E in biology.
Yeah, like, or E, and you sitting up here trying to tell us what the fucking disease can do and that it's not so fucking bad. Shut the hell up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
When you do over
If you
8 years
did not
of
pass
biology,
biology like I passed biology, I don't want to hear shit.
if your student load does not cause as much as Thor's, or what's his name, Chris Amway?
Chris Amway.
Amway, right? The Australian guy.
Amway.
Amway. Is it Amway?
Amway.
Well,
I think it's Amway. Chris?
If your school student load does not equal his paycheck from Marvel, don't tell me how to take care of what's going on with my body, because you haven't done enough school.
You have not. I'm sorry. I'm done with that. I'm done with all the, only a certain percentage. Okay, but how do you know you're not going to be that percentage of people that die? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I just want to, because I'm tired. I'm tired. I want to go out and enjoy my 30s. I already spent my last year of my 20s in the house. I didn't even, my birthday was on my porch, okay? I sat on my porch with my dog and took a photo shoot for my birthday because people didn't want to wear a mask and didn't believe COVID was real. That's what I had to do for my dirty freaking 30. That's a milestone. And I couldn't even celebrate it because y'all acting a damn fool. Get it together.
No, y'all better get this COVID done and over by the time my youngest is out of high school, because I mean,
it need to be done by the end of this year. By the end of this year. This is the last year I'm dealing with y'all craziness, and I'm moving to freaking somewhere where they got the COVID under control, because I cannot do it with y'all. Y'all just stupid. I'm sorry.
Look, I just want to say, like, I'm less worried at this point of COVID and more worried about future pandemics because we've already normalized how we're going to respond. Like, and at the same time too, with Youngkin, I don't think y'all should underestimate him because I think the way he
Nobody's
ran,
underestimating him. We're just tired of him.
No,
but
I'm
I,
close to
I don't
Virginia
like.
and Maryland. I'm done with it.
It's not that. It's just I don't agree with him being able to tell all the cities and their school system that, hey, this is what's going to happen. It's mandatory, or it's now in law that schools do not have to wear masks. Your students do not have to wear masks. That is not right.
it's eventually going to happen, I think, because there's
Yeah,
going to
let it eventually happen when it's starting to get better versus right now where there are thousands of kids dying when there is no hospital beds near in 2 cities over from me.
Yeah.
remember
And
how
you
Okay.
know what? You know what? Let me say this one last thing. This is gonna be my last thing. I'm supposed to be getting a consultation for surgery. If my surgery is going to be months or maybe even next year because they can't control this COVID, I'm smacking everybody. All right, you know what? Let's hear from Glenn because I'm
Y'all were here
Get
for
into
me,
this.
kid. Y'all ain't know how I feel. It's not the people. Y'all keep getting mad at these people that don't like to wear the mask. It's not them. It's your government that has
if
lied
it's
to
not the
all of
people,
us.
okay, the people are spreading it though.
No, it's no. I refuse
No.
Then
to
who's
believe that.
then how is it
I
flying through the
refuse to
air?
believe that.
Let
I
me know if
refuse
it's
to
flying through
believe
the
that.
air.
Huh?
Is it flying through the air just randomly? Is that how it's
Well,
going?
that's the problem. They don't know. The truth of the
Sir,
matter is
people have it and they're spreading it to people.
that's what they want you to
This is
believe.
not, I will fight you on this damn
We
podcast.
won't fight because I can find
Okay.
stuff too with
What
people
I'm
who got
telling
the
you is that
vaccine
don't
and
make
didn't go
sense.
sick.
So tell me how the COVID got here in the first place. Let me
All
know.
I know, all right, I
Tell
like
me
that.
how the government got the COVID here in the first place.
I'm gonna tell you the
Tell
facts.
me how
Look,
COVID
I'm
got
gonna tell
here.
you I'm gonna tell you the facts that I know.
Tell me how
One,
COVID got here.
I don't go by any news thing because they're all paid off. They can say whatever they want. You can have a degree in biology, but you can also have your mind that allows you to be smart enough to see when stuff doesn't match up. Apparently,
What's
it
not
was
matching
made
up?
in a factory, and these scientists let it loose. Who knows? Things come up all the time. We just said
Well, we
earlier,
know how it got
things
loose
come
in
up.
Wuhan
But
because
hear
I
me
was
out.
following that shit the whole time. That's
But
why
hear
I
me
bought
out
the
because this
mask.
is this is the crazy thing that
But what I'm saying is right now, right here, right now, people
exactly.
are testing positive, filling up these beds in the hospital because they are getting COVID from people who are walking around without their mask and breathing on each other in these closed spaces. That is, it's not, oh, the government just sprinkling it out. No, it's nasty ass people that are walking around acting as
Then
if
how did it
they
get to
just
us if it
don't give
started
a
in
damn.
China?
Because like people have been nasty before COVID. I got freaking bronchitis from
There's
my
still people
coworker
nasty.
and was sick as a dog. All because her sick behind decided to come to work and stand behind me. Even though I told her, do not stand behind me. I have an autoimmune disorder where I catch shit quick. Stay away from me.
People still don't wash their hands after using a public bathroom. I have
My
seen
point
it.
Exactly.
exactly.
There we go.
So
My point exactly. But that makes my point.
Yeah,
Dirtiness. People
I,
will
Tell
do
me
away
how the
food and
government
how did it travel from China to
give
us?
COVID
I can't
because
tell you
somebody
that.
had
All I can
COVID,
tell you
came
is
on a
there is
damn plane.
something that some people are getting that can kill them. It's a lot of things that people can get that can kill them. It's a new strain of AIDS. They're not talking about that. We've been living doggy style. We've been living unprotected all
It's
of
just
our lives.
doggy style.
This thing comes along, and now it got people so afraid that if you're that scared,
Sir,
stay in your house, put a bubble
sir,
around your house, and never
sir.
walk outside. If you're
I
not
have
scared,
seen
don't
what
blame it
COVID
on the
can do.
food.
I've done
Don't
the
blame it on the
interviews
government.
with the
Don't blame
people
everybody
who have
else.
had
Blame it.
COVID.
Huh?
I did interviews with people who had COVID.
Okay.
This isn't just some, this is just something you catch. No, it's not something you catch. If you're actually being smart and safe.
I mean, when Omicron was being transmissible, like had the higher transmissibility, in all
Omicron was because y'all didn't take that damn vaccine. That bitch mutated. I'm done.
No. So
It
what's
mutated.
you saying the age then?
And that's my fault
How
too,
did that
because I waited.
I didn't. I did a little bit until they said that people with autoimmune disorders could get it. I was like, all right, cool.
These countries are being excluded, like third world countries being excluded by Pfizer and Moderna. So the virus is going to mutate regardless.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
I will agree with
Hey, but still, if they had the vaccine, it would mutate, is what I'm saying. Let's wear a mask.
Why have the homeless people never
Let's
been
not
talked
act
about?
like this is some kind of conspiracy.
What's going on with the homeless community?
It's not a conspiracy.
Outside all the time. No one's talking about the homeless community.
My neighbors got sick.
That's still not answering my
Sick as
question.
a dog. She had to go to the doc. She had to go to the hospital twice.
Okay, but see, my thing is, just like y'all can have stories
Come on,
about
man. Like, this is not funny.
I've been in
Like,
it since it started. I've been working in it since it
I
started.
know you were. Yes, a lot of people were. And you know what? A lot of people got sick.
And a lot of people, that's just life.
I couldn't even go to the emergency room, dude. Like, I could not go to the emergency room.
I mean, yes, that's life.
I
sometimes.
tore my rotator cuff and could not go to the emergency room. Do you understand? Like, this is not just, people are just afraid. No, I would rather not even take the chance to die. How about that? I'm not taking that chance because I know I'm in that 1% that could possibly have their lungs fucking stop. I already have asthma and I have 2 autoimmune disorders. Sir, I will die. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm just asking, if you don't want to get the vaccine, cool, I don't care. Just wear a mask. And if you don't feel good, stay home.
My thing is, I'll agree with Glenn on the government front, but in a different way. Again, I've said from the longest on this podcast, if we had done even emergency UBI, if we had committed to rent cancellation, fuck a rent freeze, but committed to that instead of doing these things begrudgingly, if we hadn't been closing down hospitals for years and even continued closing hospitals through the pandemic, like they complain, oh, they're overmatching hospitals while they're still closing hospitals. So
but that's the city's fault.
That's a business.
They ain't got shit to do with COVID because they were closing hospitals here in DC before COVID even hit. And that was their fuck up. And I get it. But either way, even if we still had those hospitals, it would still be overcrowded.
But we would have had more hospitals and we would have.
It would still be overcrowded. And the people who are having heart failure and things like that would not get a bed because people don't want to wear masks.
When the outbreak burst off in New York, they had a cruise ship that they were using at the hospital. They had in Central Park. They opened up.
That's what I'm saying. It would still be overcrowded.
But
regardless.
But as soon as we were like, okay, we don't want to keep spending our resources on this, we started falling back and just saying, let's accept the bodies that come with it and saying, hey, you know what? I'm sure that grandparents would be willing to sacrifice their lives to go to work for the sake of the economy and their children. Like, we clearly don't care about people, and we're a country that can't even get white people to stop saying the N-word. We're not going to get people to wear masks or get vaccines if they don't want to. So you have to have options that meet the people where they're at, so that if they're not going to do one thing, you have something that they will do that's a compromise that they're willing to fuck with. And I thought masks were a perfect compromise, but at the same time, there was so much shit in the beginning, like, oh, you don't need masks. Maybe if you're really immune compromised, you can get a mask. We don't need masks. When really it was just we want to keep save the mask for the hospitals instead of, I don't know, using the same war effort to mass produce masks. But no, that wouldn't have been profitable for them. So they said, fuck it. And said they just told people not to wear masks, you don't need it. And so people to this day continue on that same wave. So we
Because exactly because of shit like that. That's what I'm saying. The idiocy is just blowing my mind. But y'all, we gotta wrap it up.
all right. But I'm just saying that anyway, the government fucked up.
Yeah. So okay. We're gonna take our last break and then our promotions. All right, you guys, it's that time again for our promotions. So, hello everyone. I'm here to promote Boxy, a home decor subscription service that ships beautiful items once a month to your home. If you hate going to the store and not being able to decide on what to get out of all the choices, then this is definitely the subscription box for you. Use my code 10 off Queen Pedii, that's also linked below in the description box, to get $10 off of your first box. Next, I want to promote my book, A Puppy Journey, Rimpet's World. It's about my emotional support animal and how she saw the world through her eyes. You can purchase it on Amazon for Kindle. Last, I want to promote my blog, Queen Pedii Writes. You can find articles, craft videos, reviews, and more. And we have an updated look since yesterday. So thank you.
So for me, um, I will not be promoting my own creative. We're actually going to have a guest star on the 23rd. So definitely look at it, watch it. That week is going to be amazing. His books take you to a whole different world. It's really easy reading. And of course, the picture for the book just dropped this week. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. Tell me a little bit if you like it or not, the picture. But the book is by J. Allen Winchester. Like I said, he's been writing since I known him in high school, and he's amazing. The book is called Artemis of the Dodecatheon, and that is all I'm promoting. It's coming out later this spring. Right now we are reading it, and so far I know, at least for me, it just from not even for the first chapter, like the
All of them.
monologue, it just you just
Prologue.
start reading it, and you're like, I just got to chapter 1. That's it. This is a whole story right here alone, and it drags you in the world. You don't even think about it. That is an imaginary world. You just immerse in it really easily. Very description. A lot of description in it, so it makes the world even more real, and the characters more actiony, more like they're actually, you could actually see their reality. So really good read. Start like I said, it's coming out this spring, and he will be on here for the first time ever on anything to promote it and promote some of his other work.
Well, it's your boy Glenn, bringing to you again my company and my brother's company, Visually in Focus Studio. The link will be in the description. Definitely hit us up. Want those photos right? Also, myself, rebuilding myself as an artist, so you can definitely find me on TikTok at Glenn Taylor Poet. Got that hot poetry for you, that real poetry, that poetry that'll make you think.
And it's your boy Tryst. And is helping community one of your greatest wishes? Come donate to organizations like Believe New York and East Village Mutual Aid. While film crews are clearing out homeless tents and putting up fake tents to film for shows like NBC's Law and Order, we, on the other hand, are helping those communities that are often pushed around and forgotten. We're feeding them, we're providing them Narcan kits and other essential items, and pretty soon we're going to have an event to pass out even more items and bring them cooked foods like lasagna, mac and cheese is going to be showing them love in the month of love. in a month. If you want to make a difference, go to the links below, donate, and let's help us rise communities up instead of leaving them behind.
So besides this episode, we are going to drop a special Valentine's Day episode on Monday. So watch it. It's going to have a lot of good information in it. And just feel the love, y'all.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys for watching, liking, subscribing. Like, we love seeing your comments. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us for this long. Yeah, so we are going to see you guys Monday. All right.
This is not your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored. This is not your normal discussion. This is not your normal discussion.